The Japanese government is awarding the prestigious Hideyo Noguchi Africa Prize to renowned science professors, a married couple, Salim Abdool Karim and his wife Quarraisha Abdool Karim, for their rigorous work on HIV and COVID-19. They will be honored in the medical research category. Professor Abdool Karim is the director of the Center for the AIDS Program of Research in South Africa in Durban and former head of the COVID-19 Ministerial Advisory Committee, while his wife is the Caprice's Associate Scientific Director. Welcome, Professor Salim Abdool Karim, on the line. Professor, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome and congratulations.
Wa alaikum salam. Very good afternoon to all of the listeners. Thank you so much for all of the good wishes I've received. It's greatly an honor for me and Quarraisha to be recognized by the government of Japan in this way. It's a great pleasure.
Is this quite unique, Prof, for a couple such as you and your wife jointly awarded the prize that aims to honor individuals, organizations with outstanding achievements in the fields of medical research and medical services to combat infectious and other diseases in Africa?
Well, let me just give you a bit of background about the Noguchi Prize. The prize itself is given every 5 years. And, you know, in the past, people who won it are people like Peter Piot, who discovered the Ebola virus, Brian Greenwood, and so on. So you've had some big luminaries receive this award. There's been one African scientist who's won it before, and Quarraisha and I are now the second African scientist to have won this award. And we're the first scientists from South Africa to receive this award. And it's really one of the most prestigious in the world in terms of recognition for African scientists. Now, Quarraisha and I have jointly won the highest prizes from several countries. For example, we jointly won the Gairdner Prize, which is the highest prize you can get in Canada. We've jointly won the Win Future Prize, the highest award you can get in Vietnam. We won jointly the award from the African Union, which is the highest award you can get in Africa, called the Kwame Nkrumah Prize. So we've received many prizes from countries getting the highest award jointly as husband and wife. And it's not unusual because, well, for us it's not unusual in that we have spent, over 30 odd years doing research together and have made all our biggest breakthroughs, we've made them together. So for that reason, we were jointly awarded this prize.
So does that mean now, Prof, you and your wife can afford to take a bit of a break, that you've reached the pinnacle of your research and your work?
I wish. But we are doing something so exciting at the moment. We've just thrown all our effort into this we've discovered a new antibody that works against HIV. And so that's what we've been very busy with right now. And this prize money will go towards helping us, do that research. So, I mean, every time we receive an award, it just comes as a pleasant surprise and a wonderful opportunity for us because, we're not looking for prizes. They come to us, and when we receive them, they just give us all the more energy and support and invigorate us to continue our research and reach even greater heights.
So, Prof, then what does the Abdool Karims talk about around the kitchen table? Are you able to live a balanced life when you're both such consumed scientists?
So, Quarraisha and I have been working together for just over 30 years, as I mentioned. Right now, over the last 20 years, our offices are on either side of one secretary. We share a common secretary. Her name is Norma Hatcher. She's secretary to Quarraisha and she's secretary to me. And she has her small office, and then our offices are on either side. So Quarraisha and I are in each other's offices several times a day for meetings, discussions, things that are going on that we are doing together. So we have a lot of interaction at work, but it's all work-related. It's all science. And in the evening when we come home, we do spend a bit of time chatting about, scientific issues that we didn't finish in the day, but mostly we are discussing new things. We are discussing the world. We are discussing, what's going on with our children or our family or with friends. And often we, will see something or read something that is important and we will share those. So our household is very much a balanced thing. Although we do, over dinner, sometimes we will be talking about, new ways in which we can prevent HIV. We're discussing all kinds of new technology. So it's a pretty mixed bag as far as, the home and life balance is concerned in work.
Yes, fascinating insight that you share with us. Professor, do you believe we may see future surges of the coronavirus? And will you continue to research ways to assist Africa to be better prepared for pandemic pressure on its healthcare, social system, and economies?
Yeah, when you look at this, the way the virus has played itself out over the last 2.5 years in South Africa, it comes in waves and goes in waves. And each wave is driven by a new variant, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and the most recent is Omicron. And now we've got subvariants of Omicron. But if that trend continues, which I have to say I would expect it to continue, if that trend continues, we're going to see yet more waves. And if the trend continues, the next wave we would expect would be in September, early September. Now, that's all dependent on whether there's new variants that come along. If there isn't a new variant or there isn't a new subvariant of Omicron, then that wave might be delayed. But the rate at which it has been appearing, if that history is continued, yes, we can expect to see a new wave. We can expect that sixth wave to occur sometime in September. It's quite likely to be driven by a new virus, not any of the ones we've already seen. And if we look at the way in which vaccines have worked, they have done very well in preventing severe disease. But they don't really work that well in preventing mild, just a bit of, cough and a bit of fever and so on, which we have now come to expect. That if you get infected, even if you're vaccinated, your chance of getting infected is much less. But if you do get infected and you do get clinical illness, it'll be mild. There are very few patients requiring hospital care. So we have to hope that that continues. There's no guarantee that that will continue. But if past trends continue, then we're likely to see that as well.
The country is no longer in a COVID-19 state of disaster, and the infection rate is so low that there was an agreement reached between the Health Department and the National Institute for Communicable Diseases to stop daily reporting. And now we've also understood that, there's been higher levels of immunity in South Africa, and you've just spoken about the vaccine and the impact of that. We're now seeing that, the vaccine drive is what somewhat slowed down. And also, with the current developments, people may be less interested in taking the vaccine. So where does that all leave vaccination now?
I have to tell you, it's quite deeply concerning to me. Our goal was to try and achieve 70% coverage of the vaccine. We're now at about 50%. So we are quite far away. We need to go still quite a way to get to the 70% protection. Now, the reason that vaccination is important is that vaccines do quite well in preventing infection, but more importantly, they do well in preventing severe disease. They provide protection so that even if you do get infected, you don't have to go to hospital. Now, some people say to me, I've had COVID, I don't need to worry. That's not true. That we know that if you've had natural infection, you still need to take a vaccine, at least one dose of a vaccine. And the reason is that when you take a vaccine, if you've had past COVID, then that vaccine gives you a boost to your immunity, and it protects you from getting a new infection with COVID-19. So even those who've had COVID once or twice even, they still need to take a vaccine. So all I can do is encourage people, please go and take a vaccine. That vaccine is going to be the difference between whether you will need to be hospitalized and put on a ventilator or not if the new variant comes along.
Certainly hope that the listeners will heed that. Once again, Professor, to yourself and Quarraisha, Professor Quarraisha, congratulations, Mubarak on this, and you've done South Africa, Africa, the Muslim community really, really proud. May Allah Rabbul Izzah take you all from strength to strength, accept your worth, and continue using you as a service to humanity, inshallah. Barakallah feekum. Until we chat again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam.
That was Professor Salim Abdool Karim, who has received the Hideyo Noguchi Africa Prize, which is equivalent to the Nobel Peace Prize, and a really, really prestigious prize that him, together with Professor Quarraisha Abdool Karim, had received. So really making the Muslim community proud. 3 minutes past 4.